What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today I have a very special flight. We're going to be flying JFK, New York City to Los Angeles. It's a coast-to-coast flight across the United States. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and we're going to do it today. We're going to do it in the Delta Airlines. The flight that we're flying today is Delta Airlines 466. If you want to look it up, I'll try and leave a link in the description for it. But yeah, this is going to be our flight plan. We're going to fly pretty much through the entire middle of the United States and into LA. Should make for a good flight. It looks like we have pretty much clear weather all the way through, around maybe Oklahoma area, Memphis. Between those two, we have a little bit of clouds and storms, but we'll be well above that. So we might see it and we might pass over it, but we're not going to go through it. I haven't done anything in the plane, so we could jump inside the plane and we could start our pre-flight checklist. First thing, we'll get our park and brake on. We'll go overhead and we'll get our battery switch on, our hydraulic pumps turned on, and get established on our ground power. There we are. We're now on the ground power. Landing gear lever. We'll check that that is down, which it is. We'll run our tests over here. Overheat popped up here. And we'll push this to the right. All that seems to be working well. We'll move over here. We'll check these lights. Good. We'll go overhead. Go our speed. Overspeed warnings. There we are. Everything looks good there. We'll do our position and wing lights. Our position lights are already on, so we'll get our wing lights on. Our engine bleed switches are already on. Our IRSs will get set to nav. Emergency exit lights will get on, no smoking, and we'll get the seatbelt signs on. Flap lever's down, speed brake lever, or flap lever is up. Speed brake lever is down. And where we at? Galley switch is on, window heats can come on. Window heats 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we are ready to start programming our flight plan. Let's see. We gotta turn our controllers on here. I never connected them, so we might get a pop-up here. All right, and we are good to start putting in our flight plan. All right, first thing we need to do, here's our flight plan again. We're not flying a departure. We're flying off a runway 22 right and going direct. We have a lot of waypoints to put in here, so it's going to take a little bit longer than normal to get all this information put in. I'll leave timestamps in the description if you guys want to jump to, the departure or the taxi or the time lapse, wherever you guys want to jump to. But if you're sticking with me through it, let's get these waypoints put in. We're going to start with getting our position. Or actually, no, we got to do our payload and our fuel first. Payload is going to be zero fuel weight is 117.9, so we'll call that 118, which is pretty much where it already is. We'll go return. We'll go to fuel, and our block fuel today is 35211. That is our fuel. Okay, now we'll go back and we'll head over to FMC. We'll go to position in it. We'll jump to the over here. We'll grab our left GPS. We'll drop it in here and we'll head to route. So KJFK to KLAX. Flight number United Airlines, or no, Delta Airlines, DAL. What was it? 466. We'll drop that in there. We'll head over and start our flight plan. So first waypoint is going to be RBV. RBV. That's going to be direct to RBV. And then it's going to be Quebec 430 as a jetway. We're going to put that in a lot here. To COPES, COPES. And then to BYRDD. That's also going to be Quebec 430. Let me move it over on my screen here. And then we're heading over to SAAME. That is also Quebec 430. And then we're going J6 to Flirt. So Juliet 6 to FLIRT. Head over to the next page. From Flirt, we're going to Hyper. HYPER. As also the Juliet 6. There we are. And then MRB. And that will also again be the Juliet 6. And then EYTEE. EYTEE. Again, Juliet 6. Move my screen over here. Then to Collins, COLNS. Via the Juliet 6. And then Perks. PEERKS. And we're going to do the Juliet 6 again. This is probably the longest flight plan I will have ever input. All right, then we're going to HVQ. Via, you guessed it, Juliet 6. And then SPAYD. And that one is going to be Quebec 6-8. We move over again. And then Yaki. And that's going to be Quebec 6-8. To Uncle. UNCKL. Quebec 6-8. To Ryan's. RYANS. And Quebec 6-8. All right, next page. We're getting there. We're a little over halfway done here. Then we're going to go BWG. Via the Quebec 6-8. And then we go direct to ARG. ARG to FSM to IRW. All right, let me move over to PNH. We'll go next page to TCC via J6. So TCC via Juliet. Is it Juliet? Yeah, Juliet 6. To ABQ. Just Albuquerque. Via Juliet 6. Let's move over here. Then we need Zun. ZUN. Juliet 6. To PYRIT. Pirate. PYR. That's not an I. T. J6. To DRK. J6. And we're just about done here. Then we need HIPPI. And that's going to be via Juliet 231. And then GABBL, and that's it. GABBL. Boom. And that is going to be our flight plan. So we'll head over to departure arrival. We'll do departure. We're departing runway. Was it 22 left or 22 right? 22 right. And we're not doing a departure. So we'll head over to departure arrival. Our arrival is going to be 24 right. Let's see, next page. ILS 24 right. It's going to be this arrival and the gable transition, and that should be it. We'll head to route, activate, execute, legs. We'll jump out. Let's look over this flight plan real quick, make sure everything looks good. We'll step through it. And right into the runway. Let's see. I'll move that there. There's continuity there. And there we are. Then right into the runway. Looks good to me. All right, we'll set this back to map mode. We'll keep it zoomed out. And we'll jump down into our init ref. So our altitude today is 340. We'll drop that in there. Our cruise winds at 340. Let me figure out what that's going to be here. Scroll down. It's going to be 280075. 280075. We'll drop that in there. Our zero fuel weight was 118. Drop that in there. We did 1,000 in reserves. And let's see what's our cost index today. I don't remember where they put that in the oh, there it is. So today we actually have a cost index of 5. There we go. We'll execute that. We'll go M1 limit, takeoff configuration 1. We'll head over to takeoff. We'll go next page. We'll get our MEDAR for here. This should be live weather. I don't know why that's not on. We'll head down to here and 28022. 280 at 22. It's gonna be our winds. Our altimeter is 2962. So we'll head back. We're gonna do 5 flaps. Generate our trim 6.5, V1, VR, and V2. 2962 was our altimeter, so we'll set that now. And 145 is going to be our speed. I need to zoom in. 34,000 is going to be our altitude. There we are. We'll jump overhead here as well. We'll set this to 34,000. And let's get our chart information for runway 24 right. So we'll open charts. We'll go approach 24 right. Our airport elevation is 128. So let's put that up overhead real quick for our pressurization. We'll do 100. And then here we have our localizer frequency, our final approach course. Our airport elevation was right there. And our barometer is going to be 222. So let's get all this information put into the plane. I'm going to move this over here again. We'll head down to our frequencies, and it's 108.5. There we are, 108.5. It's going to be 251 on the final course. Let's go backwards, probably be quicker. 251, we'll set it on both sides. All right, and 222, I believe, was our barometer. Yeah, our landing barometer. So we'll set that to 222. And if we were to use the radio would be 100. So we'll set that as well. So 100, there we are. All right. I think everything is done. We might be ready to taxi out of here shortly. Let me take a look at the taxi chart here. So we're right here, and 22 right is right here. And it looks like we're going to line up about right here. So Foxtrot, Foxtrot, or Foxtrot is where we're going to line up. So we'll get on there. We'll back out and go to the right or left. Pretty much make a U-turn and head over there. All right. Pretty simple. We could do our before start checks, I believe we're on. Yep. Our FMC is programmed. Our flight directors can come on. We'll turn on 1 and 2. Our auto throttle switch is off. Our Mach indicator is set. Heading indicator is going to be runway heading. There we are. And altitude is set. Autopilot disengage bar is up. Thrust levers are idle. Stabilizer trim was 6.5. So we'll get that set down to 6.5. There's 5 right there. 5.5. And 6. And we'll call that about 6.5 right there. All right, stabilizer trim is set. Auto brakes can be set to RTO. We'll head to the overhead panel here. We'll get our APU started. And our APU bleed switch can come on. We'll head down here. We'll set our transponder to standby. We'll run a test on it. Make sure all of that is functioning properly.
TCAS test pass.
All right, excellent. We'll head up here. We'll do our stall warning tests. Good to go. Y'all damper on. And we are just waiting for our APU to stabilize, which it should be stabilized here in about 30 seconds. And then we can go on our APU generators and start our before pushback checks. And we'll be off the ground here in, I'd say, 10 minutes, maybe. Probably less than that. I'd say less than 10 minutes. There, our APU is ready, so we'll go on our APU generators. And we are good. Before pushback checks, fuel pump switches. We're using all our tanks today. So we'll get our fuel pumps turned on. Our APU generator switch is on. Seatbelt signs are confirmed. Flight deck doors and windows are locked. Anti-collision lights can come on. And we could disconnect ground equipment. We'll head to menu. FS actions, ground services. Release ground power. Remove wheel chocks. And double check our parking brake. I don't know why that came off. Maybe I never said it. And that is our before pushback checks. Once everything's disconnected, we're good to start our pushback. So we're going to push back. Yeah, we're going to go to the left here. There's a wing view. They did a really good job on this airport. JFK. It looks really nice. We'll call for our tug. We're going to use our right ignition today. And we will get our engine started while we're pushing back here. Set this to engine mode. We're looking for 18 on the N2. We'll release our parking brake so he can connect up and push us. 16, 17, 18. We'll give it some fuel. And our pushback should start here in just a second. You hear that engine coming up and coming to life. There we go. So we're going to push straight back. We'll let these engines come up. We'll be taxiing before you know it. We'll be out of here. Back to insert. Let's see how far back we can go here. Okay. All right. We'll get our right engine coming up. Looking for 18 on the N2. Which is right here. $15, $16, $17, and we'll give it fuel. And we're coming to life here. You hear it coming up. right, we can go ahead and stop our pushback. So we'll hit the brakes. And we'll head back up here. We'll let the tug disconnect. Oh, well, I guess it just disappeared. It's one way to do it, I guess. All right, our engines are now up and running. I heard the click. We're good to go. Our after start checks. Engine generator switches 1 and 2 can come on. So 1 and 2. We're now off of the APU. So the APU bleed switch can come off and the APU can come off. And probe heat switches 1 and 2 can come on. Master caution recall, nothing there. Engine and wing anti-ice we're not using. Packs left and right can be set to auto. Isolation valves can be set to auto. This can be set to TARA on our transponder. And we're ready for our taxi checks. So taxi checks is taxi lights and runway turn-off lights can come on. Flaps need to be set. 1, 2, 3. That'll set it to 5 degrees. Flight controls, free and clear. All right, we'll set this back to the legs page. There we are. And we are ready for taxi. We'll go ahead and release our parking brake. We'll give ourselves some throttle. We'll give us full left rudder here so we can make this turn. There we are. And I think we're going to jump on this taxi line here. Follow it out to there. And we're getting on somewhere around there. So we'll give ourselves a little bit of throttle. Get on this taxi line here. And we're going to follow this up to our next taxi line. We're going to make a left. And we should be able to get on to the runway at Foxtrot. That's what I'm looking for. If you guys are enjoying this, be sure to drop a like. If you haven't followed, be sure to follow. If there's anywhere you want me to fly, let me know. And I will try and do so. This is taking us right up to the Gulf taxiway. So we're going to jump on. I mean, we could turn there if we wanted to, but we're going to go left here. Or I guess we could do the second one. And that will be where we line up right there. So right before the hold short line up here, we're going to make a left and we'll take Bravo up to the next taxi line and or to the next intersection, and that's where we're going to line up. So a pretty short taxi today. We'll be done taxiing in just a minute here. Give ourselves a little bit more throttle. There we go. All right, a little more. So this is Gulf. We're not lining up here. We're gonna turn left and line up on the one just above it. So we'll turn left here. And we'll just taxi up to the next yellow sign right here. And we're lining up right there. Some clouds in the sky, not too bad. I think we'll be able to see probably downtown Manhattan when we take off here, which will be pretty nice. Turn that off. I don't know why that was on. And should make for a really cool time lapse across the country. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I just haven't set the time aside to actually do it, but I'm definitely excited about it. All right, this taxi line on the right is where we're going to hold short. This is where we're getting on. So I'm going to pull us over to the left a little bit because we're going to make this wide turn. There we are. We're still adding some brakes. There we go. All right, we're gonna hold short right here. We'll put our brake on and our before takeoff checks. We need to make sure our auto throttle is armed. Our engine start switches are set to continuous. Master system recall, master caution recall, transponder. We just set landing lights can come on, and strobe lights are already on. We're ready to line up on the runway, and let's get out of here. Let's get this flight started. Give ourselves some throttle, pull ourselves out onto the runway. There we are. We'll line up. There we go. All right, and we are ready for departure. There's a wing view, just in case you want to see that before we get out of here. All right, we're ready to get out of here. Let's hit our toga button. We'll go ahead and keep our nose down. Try and hold it down on the ground. Whoa, man, this wind is really pushing us. Cross-checked.
E1.
Rotating. Ooh, hard left rudder.
Positive rate of climb.
Go ahead and gear up. Man, this wind is definitely throwing us around. 22 knot wind. There we are. We'll nose down just enough to keep our speeds climbing, to get our flap speeds. And we'll bring our flaps to 1. And keep it nose down. Let our speed keep climbing up. And we'll bring flaps all the way in. We'll go VNAV, LNAV, and autopilot engaged. And then our flaps can come down. Our after takeoff checks, landing gear is up, flaps are up, taxi light switches come off. Autopilot is on and auto brakes can be set to off. Let's jump into a wing view here. There's downtown Manhattan. You can see the Empire State Building sticking out up there, which I don't think you would normally see. I think it's just because the distance we are, it's not fully rendered in. But that is downtown Manhattan there. Continue climbing out here. Departure went pretty well. There was a heavy 22 knot wind, which I knew, but I wasn't expecting it to push us as much as it did. And we did get a master caution right there when I hit the throttles. I don't know what that was all about, because I hit the button and it didn't tell me there was anything of concern. So I don't know why that might have happened. Everything looks good on the overhead panel here. Just double check everything. Yeah, everything looks like it's exactly how it should be, so I don't know what that was all about. Climbing above 5,700 right now, heading up 34,000. There's the coastline of New Jersey. Way down there, you'll get like Atlantic City and Ocean City and all that. There's a wing view. New York, Manhattan is behind us right there. Not totally rendered in. I don't know why, but that's okay. Maybe it's because we're just too far. All right, we'll jump back inside here. Once we cross 10,000, we will do our climb checks. And then after that, I will stick with you guys until about 18,000, our transition altitude. And then we will start time lapse in the front window. Coming up on 9,000 here. This plane seems to be following our speed, our VNAV speeds and everything very well. 9,500. We can start our climb checks now. We can do landing lights can come off. Engine start switches can be set to off. And we are stable, so we can go ahead and turn off our seatbelt lights. So they no longer need their seatbelts on. Here we are crossing over 10,000. There's another wing view. New Jersey out there. I think this is Jersey right here, yeah. This is on the other side of the river. So some clouds, not a whole lot, but there's definitely some clouds here. Looks like we have pitched down to increase our speeds. So we're holding right around 11,000, which will speed up as soon as we hit our target speed right here. I'm excited for this time lapse shoot. I think it's going to be really neat. A time lapse across the entire country. I've been wanting to do this, but it is like a 5.5 hour flight. Let's see, what are we looking at air time? 5 hours and 37-minute air time. That is a long flight. That's all right. Let's jump back up here. Here we are climbing out again, crossing over 13,000, 13,000. There's the New Jersey side. Definitely over New Jersey now. I don't know if this island over here is Jersey or not. Or this, I don't know if it's an island, but it looks like an island. Coming up on 15,000. Got 3,000 more to go, and we're gonna do the time lapse view in this view. So it should make for a great video. Let's hope so. I think that might be Long Beach Island, somewhere out there. Getting above these clouds here. I'm curious to see if we run through any storms in the middle of the country here, because I know there's some storms going on. I'm just not 100% sure if they're going to be north of us or if we're going to go right over them. Coming up on 17,000. Our engines are stable. Everything looks pretty good. We're keeping an eye on our fuel. At some point we'll have to toggle off our center fuel tanks and switch to the outer fuel tanks, but we don't have to do that for a while. We got some time. Here we are coming up on our 18,000. We'll go ahead and switch ourselves into standard mode now, which crosses us over the 18,000 mark. And we'll go ahead and jump into the window view, and I will start the time lapse here, and I will catch you guys on the descent. Hope you guys enjoy the flight. right, guys, welcome back. We have made it to our final stretch. Here we are on the approach coming into Los Angeles. Again, here's our entire flight that we just did. And we are on the final stretch. We're following our waypoints. We are on our VNav path. Everything is going exactly as planned so far, knock on wood. And yeah, so we have to just pretty much monitor the plane. We can start our descent checks, which we can get our seatbelt signs on. So we'll go ahead and toggle those on. Air conditioner and pressures look good. Engine and wing anti-ice we didn't do. Transition altitude, which is 2985. Engine start switches can be set to continuous, and we can set this to 133. That's going to be our arrival. Drag required. All right. Unable 270 knots. Okay. Let's see. That shouldn't have to be 270. 24. Can we do 245 B? No. How do we cancel that? I want 245/12. There we go. Execute that. There we go. So recalculated our speeds. Steep descent after walled up. No, I think we'll be okay. We should be fine. Our ATIS 2. We gotta put some drag in, so we'll do that now. Because we're now above our glide slope, so we'll put the drag in like they wanted. And our altimeter was what, 2985. So we'll set that now. We'll go out of standard mode. We'll go 2985. There we go. All right, and we should start catching up to our glide slope here shortly. We're about 1,300 above it, but we should be able to catch up to that, no problem. We have our speed brakes out, which are going to help us slow down and get down to those speeds. I don't know why it was 245 and then 270 and then back to 245. I probably should have caught that on the initial setup, which I'll start looking for that for now on, but that's okay. We got it now. We'll set this to our current heading for now. We'll set that runway heading once we get a little bit closer. So descent checks are complete. We'll do our approach check somewhere around 10,000. So we got about 8,000 feet to go before we get there. Looks like our altitudes are still coming down. We're catching up to our glide slope there to get back on our VNav path. We'll keep our drag in for now, which is our speed brakes. You can see the mountains out there, the mountain range coming in. And I love the way the clouds look around the mountain ranges. This is one flight that I've done in real life. I've done from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. And man, that was the only second time I was on a plane. I was terrified. So I barely slept the night before. And once we got on the plane and got out, luckily I had a window seat. And I was glued to the window that whole entire time. I ended up really enjoying it. So it turns out I enjoy flying, but I was terrified of it at first for no good reason. And we are catching up on our path. A little bit slow, but we're getting there because we have to maintain a descent as well. So we'll keep our speed brakes extended and try and catch up to that glide path. Go back into a window view. Man, them clouds look really, really cool going through those mountains there. I really like that. Flight was pretty good. We didn't have a lot of like, didn't look like we really went over storms. We did go over some clouds. And we didn't have like a lot of turbulence either. A little bit, but not a lot. We'll start a right turn here in just a minute. And then our next waypoint, we should be able to lock onto the ILS. That's the hope. Still about 500 feet above our VNAV path, but we are catching up to that. Coming down to about 13,500. A 300 above our VNAV, so we're almost caught up to that. In just a minute here, we can start our descent checks, or our approach checks. Yikes. All right, here we are coming up to our, you can see the magenta arrow coming up on our VNAV. So we're about to get back onto that. You'll see VNAV speed here, change to VNAV path. There it goes right there. And FMC speed, and we are back on track. So go ahead and release our speed brake. Do it right about now. There we go. And we're coming up on our 10,000, so we'll go ahead and get our landing lights on. We'll get our auto brake set to 2. Our decision height set master caution. We don't have any problems. Speed brakes we can arm, but we may end up needing them. But if we don't, that's fine. If we do, we'll just rearm them. Flaps we'll start working on soon. Landing gear and taxi light switches. And we are pretty much ready for landing. We're going to keep an eye out for our localizers and get locked onto the ILS as soon as we can. Going over an airport right there. If anybody knows what airport that is, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Looks like a small municipal airport or something. It's not too small. All right, continuing down. We're heading down to 4,000. This is going to be our next constraint. I have it set down to 2,000. And we're maintaining our speeds and everything, so it looks like we're doing good. What is that? MM. I don't know what MM is. I know what OM, outer marker. Middle marker? I don't know. We're keeping an eye out for our localizer. We're waiting to see it pop up on the screen here. Once we do, we'll go ahead and activate the approach mode and start getting that going. Our speeds, we need to be at what, 221 at this waypoint, which I would like to be slower. 195 would be better for me. And then Kobe, let's see if we could change that. We could do 165 at 4,000 or above. 4,000 A. Execute. All right, there we go. That way our speeds will come down, because that's too close to the runway. We'll just like shoot right into the runway. If we do that, we might overshoot it. So that'll bring our speeds down to where we need them to be in order to get our flaps going and everything in a reasonable amount of time. And then our next speed is going to be 138. That's going to be our landing speeds. Which, by the way, by the time we get there, we're probably going to be locked onto the ILS, and we're going to go into speed management mode anyway. So, but I do want the plane to start slowing down as we, you know, get closer to it. All right, continuing down. Let's take a wing view, take a look. Looking good. We're gonna fly into some clouds as we make our approach. Here's where we are on the approach. Here's where the airport is. Here's where we are. So like I said, we should be catching that glide slope soon. Oh, that's the one I wanted to go back. There we are. All right, we have our glide or our localizer on the bottom down here popping in. And we're going to hit our decel point here in just a minute, which will start slowing us down. And we'll try and get locked onto that localizer. Once the speeds come down, we can start doing our flaps, getting our flaps extended, getting our gear going. Let me zoom this in. All right. Everything's good so far. We have our glide slope path there, so we'll go ahead and hit approach. That way we can get locked onto the glide slope and localizer. We have both diamonds now on the screen. We have this one here, this one here. The speed's starting to come down. Looking good so far. And we are going to be on the outermost runway. Let me pull up our taxi charts here. There we are. We're going to be landing on this runway here. So we'll try and get off at Zulu or Alpha Alpha. Speeds are continuing down. We might have to add a little bit of drag to help our speeds get down as well. We're still on our VNAV path, so we're okay. As long as we stay on that VNAV path, we're fine. We'll get our flaps introduced here soon. And our taxi lights, we can get them on now. So just flaps and landing gear. All right, we just got onto our localizer. Now we're gonna try and intercept the glide slope here soon. We'll put this at 3,000. We'll hold 3,000 to intercept the glide slope. That way we don't get too low. Speeds are coming down nice. We don't have the runway in sight yet because of these clouds. I didn't see downtown Los Angeles just yet either. But we are lined up with the runway at this point. We're waiting to get locked onto our VNAV path or our glide slope. You can see that we're still on VNAV. We're not locked on the glide slope, but it is listening for the glide slope and paying attention to it. So we're going to level off here at 3,000 and intercept that glide slope. Our speeds are coming down. There we are. We're going to level off there. And that should get us right on that glide slope. And there we are, locked onto the glide slope. We'll bring our speeds down to about 175. We'll introduce a notch of flaps here. I think, what can we do at 195? We can go flaps 5, right? Yeah. So we'll go flaps 5.
Radio altimeter.
Radio altimeter. All right, we'll go ahead and get our gear down. We'll keep bringing our speeds down. There's our outer marker. Not much to see out the wing here. Still cloudy as hell. Starting to get the runways though. And that is our outer marker. That beeping that you hear. All right, we can get our speed brakes back in. We'll get our speeds down more. I think 138 was our target speed. Let's get it down to 140. And we should be able to extend full flaps now. You see the flaps coming out. We go, yeah, we're at 30. We're good. I thought we went 40 by accident. All right, looking like a good approach so far. Knock on wood. We'll get our speeds down to 138. We'll do 136. There's a nice wing view. Get our feet on the rudder pedals here. Man, them clouds go right down to the ground out here today. Didn't even get to see downtown LA, unfortunately. Great details on the ground here, though. All right. We're at our target speed. We're at our target altitude. We are on the glide slope. Glide slope's actually slipping a little bit below us there. It's all right. The plane will pitch for it. At about 9-knot headwind. We can go ahead and toggle off our autopilot. We will hand fly it from here. And we're a little bit low, so we'll pitch up just a little bit. And we'll just ride that. There we are, back on the glide slope. We'll go ahead and pitch it down. Just try and stay lined up here. Come a little bit left if we can.
Approaching minimums.
Yep, a little bit low.
100.
It's all right.
Minimums.
We're good. Continuing. We'll just glide it right down.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Slight flare. And we are down. We'll go reverse thrust. Welcome to Los Angeles. What a great flight. New York to Los Angeles. We made the coast-to-coast flight. Super excited about that. All right, we can go ahead and get our reversers off. And we should be able to get off right here. There we are. So we'll taxi off right here. And we'll hold short and we'll do our after landing checks. See the airport over there. All right, we'll just let ourselves drift up to this hold short line. All right, and we will hold short right here. All right, after landing checks, our landing lights can come off. We don't need those anymore. Strobe lights off, taxi lights on. Flaps can come up. Speed brake lever can go back down. Transponder can go to standby. Engine start switches can be set to off. Stabilizer trim and APU we can start. So we'll get our APU on and we'll get our APU bleed on as well. And we will taxi. So this is where we are. We're going to taxi across this runway. We'll take Echo all the way down to probably Kilo or Delta or Echo 10, Delta 10. And then we'll jump over. Yeah, we'll take it down to Delta 10 and then we'll jump onto one of these terminals. Let me move this over here. We'll go ahead and release our parking brake. We'll give ourselves some throttle. Flaps are fully back to normal. Let's get going. If you guys enjoyed that flight, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment. If you're not following, be sure to follow if this is the kind of content you like. It was a beautiful day for that arrival. I wish we got to see downtown LA though. I'm a little bit bummed about that, but the clouds were kind of in the way of that. That's all right, we made it. All right, so we'll continue to the left here. That will be our Echo taxiway. And we'll take this all the way down to Delta 10. I'll give us a little bit more throttle to get us moving. A little bit of frame loss here. There's a lot of texture going on. I do have the LAX scenery. I believe I bought the LAX scenery. I mean, it looks like it, right? Yeah, I did. So we'll get our speeds up to about 20. I think I've said this before, and I think between 10 and 15, probably even 10, is your ground speed for taxiing. I tend to go a little bit faster because it's a simulator and nobody wants to sit there for 20 minutes watching you taxi. I guess maybe somebody does, but I don't particularly enjoy that. But here's where we are on our taxi. And it says construction area here, but I'm not sure if that's just the chart, because I don't think there's actually going to be construction on the at the airport, because it's a scenery. So we'll get off at Delta 10 and we'll jump into one of those terminals there. Good looking airport, that's for sure. All right, so we'll follow this slightly to the left here. I mean, we could go to the right, but we'll go to the left here. We're crossing Lima, and then this is Kilo right here. We're on Echo, which that sign is incorrect. It says we're on Delta. Or, well, either the sign's incorrect or the chart's incorrect. Oh no, actually I think I am on Delta now. No, Echo. There's the E right there. Maybe that sign wasn't wrong. Maybe I just don't know how to read them. All right, so we're gonna make our right here, and we're gonna go to one of these gates right here. So we'll slow down for the turn. There we are. We'll make our right turn here. Getting some frame drop here. And we're gonna taxi into, we'll say, this one right here. And we'll make a hard left right here. Slow down so we can do that. And this will be our gate today. Definitely getting some jumpy frames, so if you guys see that, I'm sorry about that. It's just because there's so much going on here with the livery that it's all loading in at once, I guess, as I approach it. A lot of ground textures and stuff here, but we'll go ahead and stop the plane right about here. There we are. We'll apply our brake, come back in the cockpit, and we will do our parking check. So our park and brake is set. Our seatbelt signs can come off. Seatbelts can come off. No smoking can come off. APU generator switches can come on. 1 and 2. Fuel cutoff switches. We can cut the fuel. We'll get our ground power going. Yeah, I'm definitely having some frame loss here, so sorry about that. We'll set our chocks, request our ground power unit. We'll wait for that to get connected. We see the jetway coming, heading over. So we'll head over to the top panel here. Ground power is connected, so we'll go ahead and establish on ground. We can get our APU off, our bleed off, our isolation valve open, our packs can go to off, our window heats can come off, our probe heats can come off, our fuel pumps can come off, our lights can come off, anti-collision. We'll leave wing lights on. We can even leave logo lights on if we want. Our yaw damper can come off, and that is it. We are in our turnaround state. Welcome to LAX. If you guys enjoyed that, leave a like, leave a comment, drop a follow, and I will see you guys on the next video.